The frantic international search for the young American mother who suddenly vanished while traveling alone on a dream vacation. It was her first trip overseas, but right before she was supposed to return home to her husband and her two young boys in New York, she disappeared without a trace. ABC's Juju Chang brings us the latest.
It was the trip of a lifetime, complete with artsy Instagram posts from Istanbul that Sarai Sierra, an avid photographer, shared with her family back home in New York. But when her family went to pick her up at the airport a week ago, they discovered to their horror that somewhere halfway around the world, she simply vanished.
I called United Airlines. They stated that she didn't board the flight.
Tonight, her husband Stephen is caught up in a gut-wrenching global missing persons case.
You know, you have so many thoughts going through your mind. You don't know what to think. You don't know what to believe. You don't know what to expect. You don't know what's going to come out of this.
It was a dream vacation she'd planned with a friend who dropped out at the last minute. Her family says Sierra had every reason to come home. She'd even cut her trip short because she missed her 11- and 9-year-old sons. And she was eager to register for new classes at a local college.
I've been married to her for over 14 years. And my love for her is deeper than I've ever had for any other individual.
Tonight, these grainy surveillance videos released by Turkish police could be the best lead investigators have as they scan for clues to the 33-year-old mom's disappearance. Nothing seems amiss as she walks around a mall, eats alone in a food court. Eerie images taken a day before she lost touch.
Was she seen having coffee with somebody? Is there any surveillance of somebody walking in or out with her at a location? All of those are potential leads.
The mystery deepens because Sierra stayed in constant contact with her family through Skype and instant messages. Her last text was received last Monday saying, "I'll be home tomorrow, yay!" And then digital silence. At the hostel where she was staying, Turkish police found her clothes, her passport, even her medical cards and phone chargers still in the room. The owner told authorities he last saw Sierra Sunday afternoon.
With her passport in the room, and I've heard even her cell phone was in the room, I don't like that combination because that leads me to believe that someone was able to lure her out of the room.
When we stop, I want you to get out of the car like you're
The storyline seems like something out of a Hollywood movie. Taken and Taken 2, which even takes place in Turkey, where Sarai disappeared, stars Liam Neeson as a father trying to rescue loved ones who get kidnapped and caught up in human trafficking.
Oh God, they're here. They're coming.
But that is more likely the stuff of entertainment, according to former FBI investigator Brad Garrett.
Television tends to drive people toward the sex trade, that someone could have grabbed her. Is that possible? I suppose it is. I would focus on who are the sex offenders or people who have histories of abducting women in and around Istanbul and the areas where she was frequenting.
At this point, every clue is precious.
Go through her camera. What are the last shots she had taken? That may give you a direction.
But investigators will probably want to talk to Sarai's husband and her brother, both of whom are now in Turkey working with authorities. The U.S. State Department refused to comment, other than to say they too are working the case with Turkish National Police.
I know what the family's going through. They are trying hard to do the right thing and hoping that there's somebody who's going to tell them, here's what we need you to do.
Jeff Dunsavage's brother Joe went missing in Honduras back in 2009.
Essentially, he went out on a boat and disappeared.
Yeah, that's it. Whether it was a matter of getting caught in an odd current, had a heart attack, or it's equally likely that somebody decided they wanted the boat.
But you'll never know.
We will likely never know.
Jeff went into enormous debt searching for his lost brother and now runs a website that connects families and gives advice. The site has hundreds of registered loved ones looking for the dozens of people who seem to have dropped off the face of the earth while visiting exotic locales.
There's a language barrier, there's a cultural barrier. It must be very difficult to get an investigation underway or advance it in some way.
Sure. Again, that's where you think the State Department will be of vital assistance. And for the most part, they're not. They're very quick to tell you the limitations on what they can do.
There's a little bit of blame the victim that goes on in this situation, isn't there?
Yeah, that happens a lot. I mean, and the fact that the first place you start seeing it is if there is news coverage. If you're fortunate enough to get news coverage to build awareness of your situation, immediately the internet trolls are on there commenting with things about must not want to be found, must have been up to no good, and got something they had coming to them. That's probably the most heartbreaking thing. Hope can be painful.
Perhaps the only thing more painful is having no hope at all. For Nightline, I'm Juju Chang in New York.